Welcome back to Baron's New Vegas Gun Guide, and this time I asked for forgiveness. I had almost completely forgot about this gun featured in this episode, the sawed-off shotgun, and before I remembered I was completely ready to move on from the lever action to the pump action shotgun, but we have to slow down and do this one. The sawed-off shotgun is one of the few legacy weapons from Fallout 3. It was the only one that got a new texture that made it into a new, cleaner look. The sawed-off shotgun present in game is a bit of an odd duck to track down. Like most legacy weapons from Fallout 3, they were made more to fit the animation style than were to match a real-world gun. As such, we more or less go into the history of the sawed-off shotgun instead of the one particularly that the one in the game is based off of. Like the name implies, the sawed-off shotguns started in life as side-by-sides that eventually had their barrels sawn off. I'd heard initially, but this was because the muzzle could get damaged, warped with continuous firing, black powder, fouling, all sorts of things that made it not be in line again. It might not make it concentric. But it soon became a choice and not a necessity in order to keep your shotgun working for longer periods of time. Now, technically, if we go into the game, the Caravan shotgun is also a sawed-off shotgun, but it also includes a stock, which sawed-off shotguns soon began to lose. This is where the strangeness of the New Vegas shotgun starts to come in. The stock, not so much being a grip that's going in with a rifle stock, it is a pistol grip, and it's almost perpendicular to the barrel, which means that much more of the recoil is felt in the delicate fingers versus the arm that can absorb a lot more as it goes into the shoulder. Now, the closest real-life sawn-off like this is the Stevens 3 2R, but even it isn't that extreme of an angle. Secondly, to note, the sawed-off shotgun presented in-game has one trigger to fire both barrels, as opposed to two triggers in series that other sawed-off shotguns in real life have, because those ones have one trigger per barrel. Obviously, this is the same reason as the grip. It's to fit the animation. They're not going to actually have you animate moving your finger to both triggers because it was a legacy weapon. But it's an important thing to note, not exactly immersion breaking. Now, to go back to the history, as well as the reason why this became a choice and not a necessity for most people, you know, but during the Western expansion in America, a shotgun typically killed a man dead very quick, and stagecoach guards had to be quick, but the standard coach gun shotgun was long and could be unwieldy whenever you had a horse next to you. So the tactic of sawing off the barrels was taken to allow for hidden and devastating surprises, increasing the security on these coaches and saving some lives in the process. Well, not of bandits, but of the people driving the coach. Now, as you imagine, 2 barrels of buckshot is pretty damaging, and in this game it's 100 damage per shot firing both barrels with 14 projectiles, which means a very familiar number of 7.1 damage per projectile. Like the 20 gauge, the 12 gauge gives a 20% damage boost, making it actually 120 damage with 8.5 damage per each projectile. Now, it has a rate of fire of 2.3 attacks per second, which both barrels count as one attack, so having a self-evident ammo capacity of 2, without mods, that rate of fire won't ever really come into play. It has a hypothetical DPS of 234.4, or with the 20% damage increase, 281.2, but with a 3.1 second reload, its actual sustained DPS is 28.2 damage per second, or, with the 20% damage increase, 33.8. So that first burst has to count. Now, when you're back against the wall, it's good in VATS. It's reasonably priced at 37 AP for both barrels, which is an efficiency of 2.7, or with the 20% damage increase, 3.2 damage per AP, which isn't bad, but you do have to account for the fact that it includes the 10 AP to reload the gun. Now, as for shooting it in further distances in combat, it's no surprise, being a double-barrel shotgun, having such cut-off barrels, it has one of the highest spreads at 4, the same as the sturdy Caravan shotgun. Now, it won't shoot in VATS very far without some perks, but you still get the sniper perk and it will serve you in dividends. Now, with a crit multiple chance of 1 times percent and a damage of 7 on a crit, that's an extra damage with 14 projectiles of 98, with all of them going into the target, which is a grand total of 186 plus 120 in a sneak attack. This is good to know because it is actually a holdout weapon. It's the only shotgun that is a holdout weapon. So when you reach 50 sneak, you can take advantage of that in the tight hallways in casinos or other places that take away your weapons. Not the DLCs, of course. Now on to the looks. Like the lever action, the sawn-off is more of a traditional actual shotgun. It has a well-maintained, relatively, look, and it has a traditional post sight that you'd see on a shotgun. And also, surprisingly, costs nearly the same at 1,950 caps. Again with no mods, but like the lever action as well, it is kind of fragile, only able to fire and reload 395 times, or 343 with the Magnum rounds. But it has more choice than 20 gauge, which makes it more attractive than, say, to continue using the lever action. 12 gauge buckshot is more expensive at 2 caps per round, and it offers only the same plus 20% damage boost. But then we have Magnum rounds, which are only 3 caps per round, with the 30% damage increase, the -2 DT to enemies, and 15% more wear on the weapon. You get the slugs at 2 caps, and condensing the damage into 1 round, or in this case you fire both barrels, so it's 2 shots, with 35% of the spread. Now it has 2 more ammo types, not including the DLCs, beanbag rounds for 3 caps per round, that fire beanbags, essentially, or rubber bullets, that only do, on paper, 5% of the damage, but actually it does, I believe, 22.5 damage minimum to inflict 50 fatigue, even though it says it does 250. Now, other fatigue-inducing weapons don't work on robots, but beanbag rounds, unless you get it patched with an unofficial patch, work on robots, meaning that you can knock them out in 2 shots, typically. Now, then there's the coin shot, which shoots Legion coins for 8 projectiles, which is very expensive. It's 40 caps in materials to make at the minimum. The coins cost 40. It does 30% more damage, -2 DT, and a 10% chance to find the whole coin in your enemies, and a 15% chance to find mangled denarius in the enemy. Obviously, it's a more expensive Magnum round that doesn't wear down your gun as much. It's expensive, but exceptionally effective and kind of funny. Plus, it makes you shoot 16 projectiles, so your crit damage goes up. There is a unique sawn-off, unlike the lever action, in the hands of Old Lady Gibson, the Big Boomer sawn-off. It does 120 damage base, costs 35 AP to fire both barrels, has a lower spread at 3.5, but has the exact same durability, and unfortunately, it's not a holdout weapon, which for most of your playthrough isn't gonna matter, but that's alright. However, you do have to either kill or reverse pickpocket it off of her, which if you have to kill her, that's a shame because she's a really good merchant. Now, for the normal one, you can find it a lot of places. Fiends, Tops and Gomorrah bartenders, Ralph, Samuel Cook, and Jessup all can have them. The Fiends is the can, everyone else is the they do. Heck Gunderson and Chino hand them out for quests. The Sloan Workers Barracks has one, and the Atomic Wrangler have some around. And Mick and the Vendatron sell them. It's important to note that this gun seems to compete with the lever-action shotgun because it has the same guns requirement at 50 and the same strength requirement at 4 and about the same price. What's kind of funny to notice is that the lever-action shotgun actually weighs less than the sawn-off. The lever-action is 3 weight, the sawn-off is 4. So that's kind of strange, considering that the sawn-off is all cut down. Whatever. Even though the burst damage of the sawn-off is good, as you can see in the clips in this video, it kind of feels bad to completely empty your ammo with 1 shot. So for me, I still like the lever-action shotgun, but the sawn-off, especially the Big Boomer, has its place whenever you're doing burst damage, and the normal sawn-off has the dubious honor of being one of the most powerful holdout weapons. So if you need to really mess up a casino, there's probably nothing better than a sawn-off. And with that out of the way, the next video will definitely be the pump-action shotgun, and that'll bring us super close to the end-all be-all of shotguns. Thank you for watching.